sound like him in 2016.
Right.
And he was not.
So excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Two Guys and a Goalie. Today it's just one guy and a goalie, and it was almost just a goalie as we accidentally started streaming, and it was just Gager. Gager's sitting there. Gager, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I was like, geez, this is kind of odd, but whatever.
I like the idea. I like the idea of one time Cass and I are both busy in short notice, and it's just goalie. That's it. It's just you on a one shot.
That would be great. That would be just give the people what they want, Dusty. Right?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? That is probably what they want. It's enough of me anyway when I'm around. So yeah, they probably would be just fine with that. Nielson and Gager with you today. Cass was going to join us, but Cass had some stuff come up at work, so he is not able to join us. But we got lots to get to today. No shortage of things. We'll get to your bigger and hotter headlines for Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. Hire it or fire it, presented by GS Construction. In fact, Two Guys and a Goalie, presented to you by GS Construction, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety, driving their success. GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of that team. That's right. Visit www.gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work to visit their page at Indeed.ca. With the Next Up Person program at GS Construction, it's not just a job; it is a career. Everybody that you talk to has had nothing but great things to say about GS Construction. So if you are looking for a new gig, or you want to switch things up, or maybe you're just getting into industry work, gsconstruction.ca, and you can't miss it. Click Ready to Work, and Sandman will get you a job. Simple as that. Gager, how's the rest of your morning? When we talked with you today, what else have you been up to today?
Well, a lot actually. Well, you were gone. How was the trip, first of all, Dusty?
Geez, yeah. Trip was good, man. Like, it worked out relatively well that the last series ended. I really only missed like the morning after that final game on Monday. And then I know some people might be like, that's a bad look, but I really didn't miss last week because it was just people bitching about other people's predictions. Like, I was just like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'll come back when the series is good to go. So golfed 3 times with my buddies down in like Irradium and stuff. And then drove back up on the Wednesday, hosted the Elks dinner on the Thursday, and then obviously had a couple of CFL games to work Friday, Saturday. So it was a nice little mix of fun and some work as well, which is I usually have a lot of work. I usually don't mix in much fun, but it was nice to get away for a few days, buddy.
What? How did the boys appreciate the care package for the Elks,
buddy? Dude. The crew is always they get so excited. So for people that don't know, like, I'm calling the Elks game, Gager slinging wieners in the back, and pretty much every game right around the fourth quarter, like a big box shows up. So I'm calling the game. We have Matt Dunnigan in the booth, And when I turn around to shake Dunnigan's hand, one guy in the corner, Dave, he's in the corner. He looks at me, he goes, and he's pointing to the box. I was like, oh, we got the goods. We got the goods. And so we finished the game, and then I look like a hero, right? Like I get this box of food, I put it down, and we got like suits, and then our stats guy, 2 camera guys up in the booth, sound guy. And I was like, guys, and I went in first. I was like, oh, let me see what I can get here. And then I say, hey, if you guys want anything, and it's like that video when like the big lion stops eating and walks away, and all the other lions get to come in and eat. It's just like, we love it. But so I was gonna ask you, what is that grilled cheese thing that you put in that box? Because what is that, like chicken and bacon?
Yeah, I think I gave you the chicken bacon.
Oh my God!
Garlic sandwiches. Yeah, they're
good.
They're pretty good. So I don't have those. I was at a different concession, so I had access to those. But yeah, I might have to start actually sending you an order form, Dustin.
Yeah,
then
send it around to the boys, like because you brought up fries and tendies. I mean, that was great too. Tendies were actually pretty good.
They were pretty good. Yeah,
that was nice.
Those were a lot of work.
It was like in Ace Ventura when Ace Ventura spotted Ray Finkel in that other team picture and was like, "Who the hell is that?" When I opened up the bin and I saw this like bacon chicken cheese sandwich, I was like, "What the hell is that?" And I had it as I was driving home after the game, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is bloody delicious." So keep those coming.
The Holt brothers. Yeah, the Holt brothers got a box too. I sent Maddie and Glue Guy off with some sustenance as well, so they could get back all ready for the post-game show.
Hey, and did I see correctly when you tweeted in this morning? Were you and I 1-2 in the Formula One race this past weekend?
We were 1-2.
God.
And basically the reason that Kassian says has to do work, I think he's just working on his fantasy teams because he's been caught, Dusty. His lead has completely vanished, and now I am tied for Cass overall first in fantasy.
Really? That one team that I've got's done well a couple of weeks in a row now. I got to be kind of working around there.
We call yours the prison team because you haven't changed the name, and it's just got that long number. So Dustin Nielson's prison rule F1 team is doing quite well. But sadly to say, I've been summoned to the Stewarts. I'm under investigation.
What did you do?
There's this little icon and I didn't know what it was, and I'll read it to you because I clicked on it and it says, warning, F1 was reviewing your league name to ensure it follows our content guidelines. Your league name will be changed automatically to default league name if it's found to be violating these guidelines to maintain a respectful and inclusive environment. So,
really? Isn't it the nasty or whatever?
No, it's the name of my actual one of my team names for my cars. So I've got DRS for life, but then the other one's a little bit subjective. I don't know.
That's why my 2 names went back to the number names.
Yeah,
because my 2 names were rejected, and I haven't got back in to fix them again. That being said, when you're among the contenders, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Exactly.
I'll just leave it the way it is. So, all right, it is 2 Guys and a Goalie presented by GS Construction. If you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us, and hit us up in the nasty chat. Of course, you can text us anytime if you're listening on iHeart or TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Just text 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We will certainly get to, we're going to dive into all of that as well. Want to start by just mentioning that the 2024 Hlinka Gretzky Cup is coming to Edmonton this summer. Rogers Place is going to host the best U18 hockey players in the world from August 5th to August 10th. This is the future of the National Hockey League right here. 7-game and 14-game ticket packets are now available. HlinkaGretzkyCup.ca, or just go to Ticketmaster.ca and search Hlinka Gretzky Cup, and keep listening to Edmonton Sports Talk for your chance to win tickets as well to that event. Should be pretty fun, actually. I think I'm going to be calling that one for TSN, so I'm looking forward to doing that and looking forward to see some of the best players in the world who will eventually get drafted by the Oilers and eventually not be able to get a shot on goal in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. I think that's how it probably ends up working for most of these guys. Go ahead.
Are you going to be working with Stretty at that thing? Because Stretty yeah, I think he did color for the radio.
He did.
For World
Yeah,
Juniors.
he did Stretty. It's actually, I think it's Button. I think it's Button and I.
That's cool.
Yeah, that should be pretty fun. I worked with Button at like the U18s, U17s maybe in Medicine Hat 3 years ago. And Button, like he's great.
Yeah,
so it's
awesome.
It's very easy to do that tournament with Button. So, but yeah, if you want to get tickets, hop online, HlinkaGretzkyCup.ca, and that's like 2 months away. Like usually when the season ends in like April or May, you're like, not until August. But by the time the Stanley Cup Final ends, insert sweep joke here if you wish, but by the time the Stanley Cup Final ends, it's like draft, boom, free agency, boom, 2 months of off-season training camp opens. Hey, Gager, like that's going to be a quick turnaround.
It's too long, man. This is ridiculous. Enough's enough with hockey for a lot. I mean, unless your team's in it or you're a rabid hockey fan, you're not watching this. It's the week off was too much. They got to find a way to get this done before maybe that All-Star break. Do we really need an All-Star break anymore? Can't we just play through? Maybe have something different at the awards. I don't know.
It's way too late. You're right.
The season is way too long.
Like I saw, I think John Shannon may have tweeted out the viewing numbers for games 1 and 2, and it was around 3 million. And to me, with a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Final, that should be up around 4 or 5 million. And it's at 3 million. And this is the best player in the National Hockey League on a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup Final. So, yeah, I think it's probably drug on a little bit for everybody outside of this market. Obviously, in this market, you'd like to be loving it if they would have come home with a split, but they did not come home with a split. And, we're going to get into a bunch of different things. We'll have Hire It or Fire It presented by GS Construction. We got the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival tickets that we'll get into at some point as well. And we'll get to your bigger and hotter headlines. But let's just dive into this game last night, Gager. I mean, you lose game 1, you play really well. You're like, it could have been the one, but let's see what happens. I was expecting a better effort last night from the Edmonton Oilers in these must-win games so far, like close to must-win. And last night's would have been relatively close to a must-win. They were 4-0 in that spot so far and played some really good hockey. What happened last night? Let's just start with the overall bigger question. What happened last night, Gager?
Really, if I sum it down to just in simplest terms, the Panthers played a style that the Edmonton Oilers weren't ready to play. They played at a higher intensity level that the Oilers couldn't match, couldn't break through. I mean, and plus there was still time in there. Like the first period, Panthers looked way better to me. Like they looked like they were on the ball. Edmonton doesn't get a shot. The first one goes in, but there really wasn't a lot of pushback. And second period, they come out, score quickly again. And right then I felt, God, this game really seems over right now. It's something drastic has to happen for Edmonton to get back in this. And there just was nothing. Like you mentioned on all the shows this morning, the amount of shots by 3 different guys on that's not acceptable at all. And it was funny because I was just on the phone. My old buddy from back home in Vancouver gave me a call, and we were talking, how's Edmonton? And I said, the sky is falling today. But he asked me about the Bouchard, the UFC rear naked choke, and what a bad look that was. Like that was your hockey. Like punch him, pull him down, like do something, but don't by any means tap out. Like that's the worst look you can ever have in a Stanley Cup Finals, that you're saying no mas at this point. Come on, Evan, you gotta throw something, like kick him, step on his, like toe stomp. I don't know at that point, but he's trying to choke you out. Do whatever you have to do. I mean, give him some elbows in the do something. I mean, do something resembling anything in that situation to show that you have a little bit of pushback. That had to have been the first time a player in NHL history tapped out on the ice, like a full blown tap out. Like I don't think I've ever seen that before. Hey, I've seen some weird stuff in this game, Dusty, but I've never seen the actual tap that you're choking me. Please stop. I've seen guys like, in headlocks, but then there's a slew foot and, you're if there's stick swinging and stuff like that, there's a response, but not just please stop. I've had enough. So, and that was the Oilers last night. They didn't have it. They tapped out.
It almost looked, I think at the end of that play, Hyman sort of looked at Ekblad and was like, can you let him go? And he's like, there you go. It's just,
it's like,
yeah.
And Ekblad's not a killer. Like, come on. Jeez.
There's gotta be, go like, I don't know, do like, there had to have been some way to get out of it without tapping out.
If he's obviously choking from, I don't think it's allowed in the NHL. I mean, it's free game at that point if he's kind of choking you, right? You get a freebie, I think, if it comes down to a review or something like that. I mean, I don't know what I'd do. Fish hooks, eye gouges, something. Got to do something. Can't just say I can't. I give up. That's a terrible look.
I still think the best solution would have been what Lieutenant Eric stated this morning, and he should have just gone limp and pretended to pass out, and then laid on the ice for a bit, and then being like, came back to. They'd have to suspend Ekblad at least a game for choking out Bouchard on the ice. I mean, that would have been would have been an all-time play. As Huss said on Lock Shop today, he's like, Matthew Tkachuk would have passed out. Like Matthew Tkachuk would have just been like, I'm out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
surprised Matthew Tkachuk doesn't have a neck brace for how many times he throws his head back so hard. I mean, geez, he's going to give himself whiplash or even a concussion at this point, the amount of times he does that. But yeah, as Matawanek says, a little, not gamesmanship, I think is what Matty always says. There has to be a little bit of that. There's showing toughness, and then there's playing the game. And to this point, Florida Panthers have played the game a lot better than the Edmonton Oilers have.
Yittrium on the nasty chat. Of course, you can text us 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Yittrium over on the nasty chat says, so you want Evan to take a penalty? I don't care what he does. I just don't want to see him tap out in a chokehold to Aaron Ekblad. That's what I want to see. Like,
you're not going to get a penalty for punching him in the face at that point, right?
All right, worst case scenario, they're going to take both.
So it's you're not. He's got you from behind in a headlock, and you throw a punch. Come on, and that's all he had to do. One punch, that thing probably comes loose, and then do what you want at that point. But you can't just give up. That's ridiculous.
All right, let's just continue with this conversation from a different aspect. Overall, including the tap out, a tough night for Bouchard. How much of it, Gager, like the boneheaded giveaway that led to the one goal, and then the just not getting over to the boards quick enough to cut off what eventually led to the pass over on the power play goal? How much of that is you asked this dude to have to play 30 minutes last night because Darnell Nurse was injured and couldn't go?
It's fatigue. The first goal, the screenshot, that was the second goal, correct?
Second goal was the screenshot, and then the power play goal was the third goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second goal is a result of fatigue, I think, Desi, because they showed the one angle, you can see it from the reverse of where Evans gets the puck and he sees, and I'm not sure who the forward was up on the boards, but you could see it. But it was like, oh, he's there. And there just wasn't that extra kind of, usually in those cases, he recognizes most of the time where that danger's coming from, where he can make a tape-to-tape pass. I equate it to just being fatigued. Like, you look at their faces, and even, Ekholm was amazing last night, but you see him coming off. Like, there should be oxygen on the bench for some of these guys right now, because, even his face, he ever shaves that beard, I'm sure he's just gaunt under this. With the amount of
Ekholm looks like he weighs about 165 pounds right now.
He does. He looks like, someone from The Walking Dead that's just been bitten right now. And yeah, it's just the amount of the accumulation of minutes that these guys are having to play. and the fact that they are getting pressured all the time, like they're chumming the water for a lot of these Panthers at this point. They know that they've got the Oilers D, especially their top guys, on the ropes a little bit, where they're playing a lot of minutes. Every chance they get, there's a little bump. If they can run them over, for sure they're doing it. And I think the Oilers have to look at that too. Ekblad, unbelievable game last night. You rarely see these guys, and you say Barkov's so great, but I think he could be one of the most underrated defensemen in the league as well. I know he's still touted quite high, but you can see the importance of what he brings to that team. Stick is always in the right position, right? His first pass is a laser beam. Like there's it's funny, those two big towers, one up in Tampa and him down in Florida. Those are two really good D-men with him and Hedman in that down in Florida there. It's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
Yeah, franchise defenseman is what you're watching right there right now with and not the super
Who
flashy.
Nurse should be.
Yeah, you know what?
Be.
I don't that's not much of an ask. I
don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think there should be no difference between Ekblad and Nurse. That's how Darnell Nurse should be playing. I mean, he's
going to be in trouble now. Yeah.
But that's I think when that contract was kind of signed, and the way his progression was going, Dusty, I think that's how they saw Darnell Nurse, right? That stalwart back there like him.
All right, let's continue with this game. We'll get to the Draisaitl hit in the bigger and hotter headlines, and then we got hire it or fire it coming up a little bit later on as well. But, Gager, the Oilers have one goal coming home. That's all they have to show for down in Florida. It didn't come from a forward. It was from Ekholm, and it probably should have been stopped by Bobrovsky, to be honest with you. Their power play's 0 for 7 right now. I mean, I'm trying to view it from it, and they hit some posts on the power play last night. I get it. I'm trying to view it from, my God, what do the Oilers need to do right now? Well, they need to score goals. Oh, well, that's good because usually the Oilers can score goals. So, maybe that's still coming. Maybe they are going to find their 3 or 4 goals per game here as they return home. But what are you seeing or what are you not seeing from the offense 5-on-5 and on that power play right now?
It has to get back to some sort of simplicity. I think, Dusty, things have gone quite well for that power play over these last 3 rounds. Even if it hadn't scored, it provided a little bit more momentum going to the next shift, and they were able to build a little bit of it. Now you see that when it doesn't work, it's giving the other teams more of a boost. So they're expecting to score, and when it doesn't happen, it seems like there's a little bit of a letdown. That can't happen. I'm not a fan of when people say, "Oh, we hit a couple posts and it didn't go in."
They didn't go in, right? They didn't go in.
Yeah. I mean, you missed the net by 2 feet. Didn't go in too. I just don't. It doesn't. You got to score.
Is that a goalie thing, Gager? Is that like a long-term?
It is a goalie thing because I mean because I never got credit for a shot on goal. It's not even a shot on goal. Yeah. So whether it hits the glass or hits the post, it doesn't really matter. You gotta get it past the goalie. Yeah, it's a little bit closer, but to me, it doesn't. It doesn't mean as much just because it hit the post or you missed by a few inches wide. It's the same exact thing. The result is not in your favor. So, but just too cute, Just why does it always have to be some really good-looking scoring goal? Why can't it be the bombing them through, getting guys to the front of the net? I said this morning, Bobrovsky's great down low, but I mean, with traffic and shooting it low, there's going to be second chance opportunities. And I think that's what you're going to have to do to get the puck past this guy. You said it, that Ekholm goal was terrible because he could see it.
Awful goal.
Kind of odd. Everything that Bobrovsky sees, and if he doesn't have if he doesn't have to worry about where he has to put the rebound because he has traffic coming to the net, he's just going to stop it. He's that good. Or it has to do something weird, a deflection, a weird bounce. Those are the types of goals that you're going to need to be able to accomplish to score goals on Bobrovsky at this point. All the goals are going to come from 6 feet out. I don't think you're not beating this guy cleanly from the blue line and stuff. This isn't the first or second round of the series. This guy, you look at the goalies that he's beat to get to this point. He mowed through arguably the top 3 guys in the league, right? Like it's crazy what he was able to go through those goaltending battles.
That's a good point, actually. The guys he beat, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vasilevsky, Swayman, and Shesterkin. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. This guy, I mean, as a goal for looking at from a goalie's point of view, you do that, your confidence is beaming right now. You just took out arguably the best guy on the planet, and then went through 2 of the top young guys, right? Like, this is Bobrovsky. You got to get in the eyes at this point. His confidence is, you got to shake him up a little bit. I thought maybe you'd see that with that goal going in. Oh, there's a little, chink in the armor there.
Yeah, exactly.
But didn't happen because it wasn't at that point when a goalie lets in a goal like that. You got to keep putting pucks on the net, Dusty. You got to see where his confidence level's at. Make him make a save. Don't make life so easy on him like they did.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. You can text us at that number, 780-218-9999. Let's see here. Let's get to a few text messages. We will get to your bigger and hotter headlines or Big Mama's and Papa's Pizzeria. I'm looking over the nasty chat right now, and I'm seeing a few things. I mean, there's some good comments in there. Brian says, win faceoffs, Oilers getting killed, especially in the offensive zone. Chief Andy says they need to keep it simple, get pucks on net, crash it, and take out the garbage. And then there's somebody, I don't know if there's somebody in there there's like a Kachuk, a Maurice, a Bobrovsky, and I like to imagine it's the same dude having like it probably is. It's probably the same guy who's got no life, probably a Canucks fan, to be honest with you, who keeps changing the name. And I'm impressed. I'm having it's a pretty funny conversation that Bobrovsky, Maurice, and Kachuk are having right now in the nasty chat. So
yeah,
it's pretty good. It's
really good.
Yeah,
well done.
I mean, keep it clean, and I'll let you continue because it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
It is. Yeah. I think I got into it with Paul Maurice the other day. So whatever.
Norman, you got into it with Paul Maurice the other day?
Yeah, he said so. Yeah.
It's Two Guys a Goalie, presented to you by GS Construction. They are hiring right now. Go to gsconstruction.ca if you're looking for a gig. This text from Norman Akombai said, Bouchard was soft before. Now he's an absolute joke. Fight back. Do something instead of screaming like a little bee, which he is. Norman Akombai is. I mean, that would have been a coming of age moment though if Bouchard fought back and didn't tap out. I can't believe he tapped out.
Yes. I like, and it was on the broadcast. Craig Simpson going, "Oh, look, he's tapping out!" Like, oh my God, where's Bruce Buffer?
Yeah.
Come on.
You needed Joe Rogan going like this. Ah! That's what you needed. Like.
Now we're gonna see that for sure, Dusty. Way to give it away.
Yeah, somebody's gonna do that now. Like,
I mean, if I'm Paul Maurice, I'm showing that. I'm showing that to my team. I'm getting them fired up. Look, we've got these guys. They're tapping out. They've had enough. Like, I don't know. Such a bad look. Do something next game.
Okay, well let's get to this. Let's get to this text because Big Uke, who obviously is great, we see him all the time, says, "Guys, I get the tap might not be a great look, but can we stop ripping on the guy getting choked out? Maybe comment on how the guy was literally putting him in a chokehold and the lack of anything from officials. So that's just an allowable play now." Well, you know what? I would have thought if the officials had seen the part where Ekblad actually cut off his air supply, they probably should have called a penalty on it.
Yeah. I mean, we go back to Huss's brilliant comment of embellishment and just taking a nap, going to sleep. That would have been hilarious, actually. That would have been a well done if that was the case. But I think you can still kind of throw a punch at that point or do something that instead of just telling him you're hurting me. I don't know, Dustin.
Yeah, it would have been.
I don't think we're too hard on him. This is the time of year where you have to show a little bit more.
I mean, I'll gladly say should have been a penalty, but he should have not tapped out. Should have done something about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's probably the fair way to wrap it up. RCN texts in at 780-218-9999. It says, "I'd like to state for the record that none of those guys are me in the chat." Being the Bobrovskis. And you know what? I will say this, RCN. I have not seen you in the chat when they're in the chat, right? I've not seen you in the same place. So how can we take your word for it? RSO Cody texts in at 780-218-9999. Says, no interior shots, need to get to the middle of the ice with some quality chances or draw penalties in doing so. I mean, they've had 7 cracks at it with this power play. Have not been able to bury just yet, but they are right. Like Connor McDavid is flying. He comes up with the puck in the neutral zone. There's like 3 dudes jamming the middle of the ice, forcing him to go to the outside. There was the one stretch of like 2 minutes. He had 2 great rushes up the ice. Basically, all he could get was flying out the left side and trying a bad angled shot on Bobrovsky. And Gager, the Panthers, are going to take that all day. They're going to allow that to happen all day long.
Why wouldn't you, right? And then even the reads from the other players, that's where you got to have good reads from guys without the puck. Okay, Connor's going, let's get to the net. Like, if he can't get me the puck, let me go, and he's going to shoot it. Maybe there's something there for me to clean up. Bringing more people to the net. It's the old adage, Dusty. When you're coaching hockey, you center drive, right? On those situations. Center drives to the net, brings one of the D-men with him. It opens up a cross-seam pass if available. And then it opens up maybe options. At least, though, if you shoot the puck, as a goalie, you're constantly thinking, okay, I have to make sure I gobble up this rebound, or else I got to put it in a certain place. You saw, I think it was last series, Connor did the pass off the pillows, right?
Yeah.
Came down the right side, shooting far side, straight to, it was at Hyman, I think, just a little tap in. So those types of plays, those simple stuff. And look, the safeties have to be turned off when you get into those top scoring, like in the house there, right? That home plate kind of area. All pucks have to start going towards the net. You can't be looking, because everyone knows what's happening. Connor comes across right to left. He's looking back for Leon on that backside, right? Goalies know that too. We saw Ottinger make like 3 or 4 saves off Leon with that one-timer. They're overplaying it. You got to keep these guys honest. Bobrovsky makes a great save off Leon on that side. Like, they know that's the play going over there. They're overplaying it to the point where goalies can play deeper in their net. Playing deeper in their net, there's more to shoot at. Once you get to the middle, start ripping it. Then you'll see Bobrovsky probably try to start taking his ice back at that point, and the distance he has to get from the top of the crease over to Leon is that much greater, where he's not cheating as much. So simple plays, simple players, simple plays. Thursday.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. We got to get to your bigger, hotter headlines. Hire it or fire it for GS Construction as well. Yitrim says, this is a good one. I'll get to this. How much of this is on the Oilers, though? You're trying to evaluate the Oilers and find issues and blame, but how much of it is just Flora being bigger, better, faster, stronger, and a more skilled team? Anyway, it's a fair comment. I think I've got a reasonable answer for this. And Gager, you can follow it up here if you want. Yitrim, if we had saw what we saw in Game 2 also in Game 1, I think I'd be really willing to sit here and just be like, that's it. Florida's is just too good. They're too big. They're too fast. What are you going to do? But we saw Game 1, which the Oilers drastically outplayed them, and Bobrovsky stole it. So, Gager, I'm not ready to say that after seeing it for Game 2, but not for Game 1. Is that fair?
Yeah, I agree with you because of the fact the Bobrovsky factor came in Game 1 was the only reason that this series isn't 1-1 at that point. Right?
Yeah.
But then the caveat is, okay, so we knew the Panthers were going to be better because they weren't in Game 1.
Yeah.
They snuck out with a victory. Very lucky to do that. They were probably going, guys, we got to pick this up or this series will be tied and we're going back to Edmonton. So we knew that their play was going to be better, and it was. And it seemed like the Oilers didn't anticipate that. Like, this team's going to be, they're going to make adjustments. They're going to be a lot better. And look, the Oilers weren't as good as they were in game one by a long shot. The physicality of this series was, I think, a little bit of an eye opener, Dusty, in game two from the previous series against the Stars.
Oh yeah, it's different.
Let's face it,
it's different.
That was a fast, speedy series and enjoyable to watch, but that was really, really good men's league hockey, I'll say. You know, this is big boy hockey. This is the stuff that you were trying to make the guy on the other side tap out. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. You're trying to take the will and the passion away, and you can see it. The Panthers are willing to do whatever it takes to take that will away from the Oilers. The Oilers have to match that, or this is over by Saturday night.
Yeah, I would also throw it out there. Yatreem says Florida played perfect game one, though the Oilers did not outplay Florida. They had shots were not. I disagree with you on that one, man. The Oilers, the high danger scoring chances in game one were 18-6 in favor of the Oilers. They were the better team on the ice in game one. Florida won. Full credit to them. Bobrovsky stole the game, and Bobrovsky was outstanding in game one. All right, let's get to your bigger and hotter headlines for Big Mamas and Papas Pizzeria. If you have not checked these guys out yet, what are you waiting for? Had somebody for game one reach out and say, hey, we ordered the 36-incher. 36-incher comes with 60 pieces, serves 15 to 20 people, and it's not even the biggest one. They've got the 54-incher also available as well. So if you're not, and they also have regular size pizzas. You can go in and get a slice. You can order today at www.bmpp.ca. Go check out their location, 12848 97th Street Northwest, or give them a call to order at 587-746-0550. That's 587-746-0550. And a second location down in the Windermere area coming soon. So right now, www.bmpp.ca. And if you want to impress your buddies, invite about 10 dudes over, order the 36-incher, and you will be a hero for the rest of your days with Big Mamas and Papas. Bigger and hotter headlines. Gager, we haven't got to it yet. I was saving it for the bigger, hotter headlines because a little bit of an update on the Barkov thing today. So let me just bring that up. I'd saved it. Let me just get to the tweet. This was Paul Maurice today on the current status of Barkov, who left last night's game after the Draisaitl hit. Did not return. Just a couple of notes on this. The quote today on Barkov's status was, he wasn't worse, so that's a really good thing. The real assessment will be tomorrow. He adds that if Barkov continues to make good progress, they should be in good shape. So we'll see what happens tomorrow when he's reassessed. But your thoughts on the play, Gager? I know I've already seen texts and comments here on some people think it should be a suspension. What do you think of the play from Draisaitl? And we've not heard anything from the league just yet. I know there's that extra game between days, but I think even some insiders would start to be like, oh, the league's looking at it. I don't know if I've seen that. I was doing lock shop. If I missed it, somebody please fire those over to us in the inbox at 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat. But what do you think, Gager?
Well, watching it at real speed, it looked like Leon was trying to finish his check, right? At the end, we see Barkov kind of, his head is dipped down, but Leon's got kind of that forearm shiver, and I think Bieksa talked about it. Like was it Trouba that hit someone with the like it's not an elbow, but it's a strong part of your body, and Bieksa said he would use that part of his body to hit people. I think last minute Leon saw that there was the opportunity to kind of give Barkov a pretty good shot. I don't think it's a suspension though. It's not like it was a predatory hit where he went out of his way coming across full speed and full chicken wing. I think it was more of a forearm shiv that hit him. Is it a penalty? Yes, because I said this morning the head was the initial point of contact with that hit, but suspension, I don't know. The NHL kind of don't they look at if a guy's injured, not that might come into it. That's the only reason they're looking at this. If Barkov keeps playing, I don't think we're even talking about this anymore, right? So then that's the fine line. So is it a bad hit, or is it because it hurt a guy? It's weird. I don't think it's suspendable, because if he's fine, there's no suspension there. It's absolutely ridiculous. So 2 minutes. That's how I look at it.
I know some people said he left his feet. He did leave his feet. But if we're giving out suspensions for hits when you leave your feet, then Sam Bennett probably shouldn't play anymore. Because, Sam Bennett's throwing his body all over the place, man. They hit on Broberg in the corner. He was off his feet on that. And he got him with the shoulder or his arm right up around here. So, I don't think you just say, oh, he left his feet. I don't think that's the determining factor here. So the determining factor will be contact to the head, but it's the playoffs. It's a history. Dees he have a history? There's all these things that factor in. If Barkov plays next game, it's certainly not a suspension, even though I hate the fact that they only suspend to injury. Like, it's a mess. Department of Player Safety has done themselves no favors in this entire situation. So we'll see. I would be very surprised. If he was coming in and Barkov tried to sidestep him and Leon went like this and got him in the head, that's a suspension. That's a suspension. When you go up and get somebody like this, I thought this is how he's trying to hit him. This part of him hit him in the head. I don't think it's a suspension. I'd be very surprised if it's a suspension, but we don't know how Department of Player Safety ever works. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens there. A couple other quick notes from around the league. Then we'll get to hire it or fire it for GS Construction, and that'll get us back to the Oilers and Panthers series. Lots of talk in Vancouver right now, Gager, about Zadorov and Lindholm. And I'm not even sure they can afford one of them, let alone two. But if you had to make one a priority, which guy are you going with?
That's a good one, because there's something with Zadorov, but I lean more towards Lindholm. Just having that strong center. He's been an Oilers killer over the past few years. He always seemed to score. Really good player. And I think, although Zadorov had a really good playoffs this year, I think he's susceptible to quickness in games, especially when it counts most. I thought the Oilers did a good job of exposing him at certain points during that Canucks series, although he played quite well. But I think there's more to Lindholm. If I'm the Canucks, I'm focusing more on getting Lindholm back rather than Zadorov.
Yichir McGann says his elbow was up over his shoulder. He left his feet. His elbow wasn't up like this. His elbow was not.
That's at the end, though. Yeah, he didn't come in like that.
The contact was made like this, and then you're going to finish through the contact. It's going to go like this. But his elbow was not up here when he got him in the head. That's just not the case.
Just go look. We've got it on the YouTube feed right now. There's a picture of where his elbow is.
Yeah,
it's at the side of his body, and that's how a lot of guys hit. You go in like this. You're either going in like this, or you're going in like this, or you're going to push and extend through. Yes, that's a normal way to hit. And again, Barkov's in a position. He's trying to get the puck out, so he's reaching down. If he's standing straight up, Leon's hitting him right in the Panthers logo, right? So I don't think it's not that predatory to me. It's not a guy, like you said, coming in arms up around the neck area, right? His hands were low at the initial point. Whoever that was saying that, they're looking at it at the end of it where you extend your arms and it goes really high. That's when it looks bad. But when you look at it here, he's unfortunately the head is the first point of contact, but his arms are right at his midsection. Like, come on, guys.
All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Let's dive into hire it or fire it right now for GS Construction. Certainly some lineup decisions that will have to be made here in this series. Hire it or fire it, presented by GS. GS Construction is hiring now. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca or just hop on their page over on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS Construction has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction. All right, Gager, you know how it works. Hire it or fire it. You hire it if you like the statement. You fire it if you don't. Sergei Bobrovsky needs a Stanley Cup to be a Hall of Famer. Hire it or fire it.
Ooh. Shoot, I don't know his international record.
Let me see if I can look it up for you. I mean, he's got 2 Vezinas. There's a lot of guys in the Hall. Like Luongo doesn't have a Vezina. So, I mean, like, and Lundqvist doesn't have a Vezina. Or he had 1 Vezina maybe. Let's see. Russian World Juniors, 2 Vezinas. His career save percentage is .915. I mean, I don't think he needs a cup to be a Hall of Famer. I think he'll already end up being a Hall of Famer.
No. What was the question? Does he need it?
Bobrovsky needs a Stanley Cup to be a Hall of Famer. Hire it or fire it.
I'm going to fire it. But if he does, it solidifies.
Oh, it's a lock. I mean, it's a lock. But he's already accomplished much more than a bunch of goalies who are in the Hall. So I think he's going to be in. All right, let's go here. Sam Gagner would help the Oilers right now. Hire it or fire it?
I'm going to hire it.
You are,
I think it would. Yeah, I think he goes full Al Pacino with an inspirational speech. Let's do it for Sam, for old Samwise. Like, is it going to help the actual game? I don't know, but I think there might be an emotional lift. And the one thing I love about Sam Gagner, if he plays in the next game, Dusty, I would love to see Coolbet put his shot totals up there, because if it's at like 2.5, I say it's the over.
Wherever he has the puck, he's putting it on net.
If he doesn't have a play, it goes to the net. I mean, it's perfect because he'll get a whistle or a second chance or something, but he'll do something that will give the Oilers a little bit of juice. So I'm going to hire it.
Evander Kane needs to come out of the lineup. Hire it or fire it?
I'm hiring it. I'm sorry, Evander. I know you're my daughter's favorite player and all, but you got to come out, kid.
He's trying to grind it out, man, but
I know, and it hurts. It hurts me to see him not. I mean, no one's at 100%, but you got to look up. Most guys are like at 90. We would say, what's Evander Kane at 30?
Yeah.
It's too much for him. And like I said, there's something to guys fighting through things, but that threshold of where you get to, are you helping or hurting? And I think we finally crossed. He's been valuable.
He has.
I think he's done some things up to this point, but I think we finally hit that point where he's become a vulnerability out there and a liability a little bit, because he can't play the way that he needs to, and especially against this team. He's a 30% Evander Kane, and I think the Oilers will be much better suited putting someone in with maybe a little bit more fresher legs.
If Evander Kane was an iPhone, it'd be saying low battery right now. It'd be like 20%. Like there's not enough juice left in the tank for him to help them right now, I think. So I think I would probably agree with you on that one. And let's go with this last one for hire it or fire it. Knobloch should break up 97, 93, and Hyman to try to get the offense going for this team. Hire it or fire it?
I'm going to fire it. I think you give it one more kick at the can here. I think
that line's still your best chance to generate offense, isn't it? Like,
I know, and I think you gotta let your big dog, let the big dogs eat here. I would have a talk with them,
see what they think.
Try to see where their heads are at. I mean, the ultimate decision is down to you, but I would try to motivate these guys to say, hey, look, we need more from you guys. You guys are our leaders. We want you to lead the way and dominate, build momentum for our team, and it's just we're not getting enough from you. So and I might give it 25, 30 minutes, Dusty. If we're not seeing anything out of that line, at least some consistent pressure or drawing penalties, something like that, then I'm breaking.
I could see moving one of them to give Leon some help, because he's getting nothing on his wings right now. All right, you could go.
Yeah, what do you do with?
I don't know.
What do you do?
You go Nuge with Draisaitl and put McLeod on the wing because he's useless down the middle, and then put Holloway up with McDavid and Hyman. I mean, maybe. They always love Matthias Janmark. I mean, I wouldn't do that right now. I'd leave him where he is.
No.
So maybe, or you could go Henrique with McDavid and Hyman, Nuge, Holloway, Draisaitl. I'd have some time for that, actually.
Wasn't that line wasn't it going pretty good with? I know when Leon played with Foegele and was it
McLeod?
McLeod was.
They had some moments. They had some moments,
but then didn't Perry play with Leon and McLeod? And when they came back and they had a really good game. Right, they were both out and came back and looked quite good. So,
well, the good news is we've got 48 more hours to talk about this, so that's great. Let's get to your keyword for the Golftown $100,000 hole-in-one final chance to qualify day today here on Edmonton Sports Talk. 780-218-9999. $100,000 hole-in-one is presented by Golftown. Swing big this Father's Day and find Dad the perfect gift at Golftown. Season pro or just starting out, doesn't matter. Golftown has everything he needs to hit the links in style, from clubs and apparel to accessories and tech. And if you can't decide, just get him that Golftown gift card and let Dad choose his favorite brands: Callaway, TaylorMade, Nike, Garmin, a whole lot more. Give the gift of golf this Father's Day. Visit them in store or at golftown.com. For more, your keyword, you text us in right now, 780-218-9999. Your keyword today is rough. Just like your mother likes it, Trebek. Rough. R-O-U-G-H. All right, text the word rough. Also a golf term, I guess. R-O-U-G-H. Text rough to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Chief Andy, I see your message about McLeod. We will get into that probably on Thursday's Two Guys and a Goalie. I got to slide a little bit early. I've got parents' duties at Marshall School just after 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna jet here.
Field trip?
No, he's got some big display that him and his buddies have done. It's in the gym, and I have to be there by like 1:15 to see it before they take it down. So I promised I'm gonna be there. So we got to bail out a few minutes early here. So, but good chat today, Gager. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you too. Man.
Yeah, this is
good to see you.
This was a lot of fun.
I just got news. A good friend of mine, old friend, is going to be in the building for I think both games. Rem Murray.
Is going to be. I thought you were going to say Shania Twain.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. What are you going to do? All right, that's going to do it for Two Guys and a Goalie, presented by GS Construction. Two Guys will be back on game day, Thursday at noon, getting you set for game 3 between the Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. We will talk to you then. See you later, Gager.
Later, buddy.